Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do a rant of Married at First Sight, Season 14. Where are they now? Let's get into it, shall we? Yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
that everybody needs.
You can't make this up. Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back. And this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining the family. To all my nieces and nephews and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. I am going to be doing a real quick rant on Married at First Sight, Season 14. Where are they now? I don't know how many of you all had the opportunity to look at it yesterday. It was a bunch of foo la la, and Lady Kama showed up, and I just wanted to acknowledge her. If I had to rate that Where Are They Now show, I probably would have rated a B just because Karma showed up. Oh, yes, it did now. Oh, yes, it did. So I want to get some of the stuff out of the way so that we can, just go into talking about these mofos, right? But the first person that I want to talk about is Noi and Steve. You know, a lot of times we say that we don't want drama. We want to see these couples in love and stuff like that. And for Noi and Steve, they did not bring us a lot of drama um, this season, but they really were boring. And so I have come to realize and come to acknowledge and come to admit that I need me some drama in these shows. This particular couple was really, really boring. Of course, we know that Noi and Steve said yes on decision day, but made a decision that they would still remain in separate households from one another. And in this episode of Where Are They Now, we saw the two of them making updates and renovations to Steve's place so that Noi would feel comfortable coming in and moving, in with her husband. Okay. When he asked her whether or not she was, ready to make that commitment and move into the household, she still wasn't ready. As we know, Noi has indicated that she wants 3 children. Steve wants her to rethink that. And so, just by accident, Noi and Steve had the opportunity to babysit, if you will, Steve's nieces. Hold on, let me turn this air up in this house. We're having some storms, and I need to go on here and turn this air up, okay? Because I'm up here. Oh yeah, it's 77 degrees in the house. Let's get this down. We don't need it to be 77 degrees in this house. I don't know why this thing is making its own decision about what the temperature is, but we're about to fix that real quick because I'm up here and it's hotter than up. Okay. Oh, no wonder. It should be on cool. And for some reason, it's on heat. I wonder if I did that while I was asleep. There we go. Whew, just the air coming in, hunty. So anyway, they had babies. They babysat the three nieces, and Noi said that she had some experience in doing it. Babysitting someone's children that you can send back home is totally different from having your own kids. So while this was cute, okay, while this was cute, it just did not, it didn't move me, it didn't faze me, it didn't do any of that kind of stuff. I don't know how y'all felt about it, but that's where I was with it. So, um, anyway, we're going to move on. We got an opportunity to catch up with Mark the Shark. Now, as we all know, on the episode, on the part two and part one of the tell all, Lindsay indicated that she was with Mark and she made some renovations and stuff like that to Mark's house, right? And that in those renovations, after she made those renovations to Mark the Shark house, he, put her out and put pressure on her to leave. A lot of us, including myself, was thinking there's no way in the world that Miss Lindsay did as much as she said that she did in the house. Well, lo and behold, when they showed that cotton freaking house that Mark the Shark is now living in, it was absolutely renovated. Who would have thunk that Lindsay was actually telling the truth about that portion of it? It didn't even, in my opinion, look like the same house. We saw that floors were changed out in the house, that it was painted and decorated very, very nicely. Something that we did not see originally in Mark the Shark's original home. And so now I have to absolutely believe that she was absolutely telling the truth about helping Mark the Shark get his place together. Not only that, Mark the Shark has lost weight. And so, I just was like in, kind of in a shock, a Zulu, if you will, because Mark would not have ever been able to do that stuff on his own. And for that, I want to give Lindsay credit for what she did for this man, how she did give him the Lindsay touch, if you will, the Lindsay experience, because I'm trying to tell you right now, that house was absolutely different. It was upgraded and all. And oftentimes we don't get the credit that we deserve. And especially with the way I think that a lot of us, well, let me speak for myself. The reason why I had a problem with believing what Lindsay was saying was because there were so many things that Lindsay did say, especially when she was with the women, that just didn't pan out right or just did not seem right, right? And so with that, you just assume if a person tell a lie about this, then they'll tell a lie about that, right? But it really does seem that Lindsay absolutely was telling the truth about what happened with her and Mark the Shark as it relates to the renovations that were done in that household. So we see Mark the Shark, messing around with the kitty box and stuff like that. He drops it on the floor, and Steve and Chris come over to the home. All of this, in my opinion, was very heavily produced, very heavily produced. And they came over to rescue him and to talk to him. He said that he wasn't dating anybody and he was kind of laying back, but Steve said that his wife had a sister or a friend or somebody, a sister friend or somebody who he thought that Mark the Shark should go out with. And since Mark the Shark had lost so much weight and was really like changing his life and stuff like that, he went out shopping with Isaac, Olajuwon, if you will. He went out shopping with him and got him some clothes, and he went out on a date with this young lady. And, the young lady asks, why did, Mark the Shark decide that he wanted to go out with her? Um, and he said that the guys had suggested that he do this. And one thing that I have learned about Mark the Shark is that he is easily influenced to do something, and even if he isn't influenced to do something, he's going to always find himself blaming someone else for, hold on y'all, I got something I need to do that I forgot about real quick. And so when we look at him, right, and we see all the things that he has gone through, he is one of those people, in my opinion, that comes off really, really weak. Because why does someone else have to convince you about, going on a date or not going on a date, XYZ, knick-knack, paddywhack, and give a cotton freaking dog a bone? Now, we will also saw Lindsey. Lindsey has moved out to California. She is back in town. She said for two reasons. One reason is to visit her father, and the second reason is to come and sign some divorce papers. Mark the Shark and Lindsey um, um, happen to be getting filmed during the same time that they are filing for a divorce. This is the first time, at least in my experience, or of watching Married at First Sight, seeing this actually happen. And so the two of, so she's with her dad, and she's talking about, her experience and with Mark, and saying some negative things. And the father was being very optimistic and trying to get Lindsey to understand that while Mark may have been a weak individual, wow, okay, while he may have been a weak individual, it didn't make him a bad person. And so she acknowledges that. And we see the two of them go to, an office. And of course, Mark is, sweating and all of that. He's so fearful of Lindsey. And so, they go to the divorce office and the attorneys, and they're sitting across the table from one another, and it seems awkward at first. And they were like, are you all ready to sign this? Basically it was a no contest, divorce. Nobody wanted anything from the other person. They just wanted their freedom. And so they both signed the paper. Lindsey signed first, Mark signed second, and they officially got divorced. And the two lawyers left them in a room, and Lindsey took this opportunity to talk to Mark the Shark and to apologize, sincerely apologize for embarrassing him on national television. As we all know, while she was at the bowling alley, she was saying some really nasty things about Mark the Shark in the bathroom. And of course, she had, her microphone still on, and the producers use that information and use that footage to show on the reunion, so that Mark the Shark could really see, what happened. Now, of course, we all know that the reunion is filmed sometime afterwards. And I think that they did it in order to, get him aroused and stuff like that, and remind him of what really happened. And so anyway, Lindsey apologized to Mark the Shark for doing that. And this was a sincere apology. She has been blackballed from the women. The women don't seem to like her very much because of stuff that she has done. It seems like, to me, in my opinion, they all took a side, and they took Alyssa's side. This is somebody they wanted to stay, I guess, on the show, but because she couldn't act right with Chris, and Chris decided that, I'm going to divorce her ass. Okay, she had to go. And it should have been the same thing with Jasmina, because Jasmina never cared about Mike, never cared about Mike. And so, one of the things that, that we figured out very early is that all of the couples are going to a retreat for a weekend to get together. And so we're going to, come to that point. later on in the review. But I'm just trying to give you all, just how I feel about the little step-by-step process that it took us to get to this little weekend rendezvous that they all had together. And so the two of them are divorced. She's apologized. Mark the Shark said this is the first time he's ever felt like he, got a sincere apology out of Lindsey. But I think that Lindsey is basically done. I think that she has made a decision to change her life, to move out of state. And I think she just wants to be done with this. And I don't blame her, because it's been a lot of drama and stuff. Whether or not she has contributed to it or not, even if you have contributed to something, you do just get sick and tired of, you know what I'm saying, of all the drama. You get tired of the drama. So anyway, we see Mike, Olajuwon, and Jephty. I believe that Jephty is from season 5. I want to say season 9. They on season forever, right? So Jephty said that him and Shawnice have been together for 5 years. So they would have had to have been on season 9, because we are now on season 14. And as you all know, Jephty and Shawnice have been, Shawnice have been having problems since day one, since they got married and stayed together. They got a little baby together and everything. And so they all meet in a bar because Olajuwon and Mike want to glean some advice from Jephty. Now, come to find out, Olajuwon and Jephty were friends in high school. Like, they've known each other for a very long time. And so, he is wanting to have a conversation with Jephty, like I said, to get advice about his relationship with Katina. Now, Olajuwon is absolutely playing up for the cameras, in my opinion. He is trying to make it appear that he has done all this change and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know about y'all, but I am so not falling for it. I believe that he had an opportunity to see himself, and he is trying to clean up his public reputation. But we have very long memories, and we don't forget. You may want us to forget what we saw, what we heard, and the behavior, okay, you displayed on national television. But we, the viewers of Married at First Sight, don't forget. We remember. So it could be another 5 years from now, Olajuwon, and you could have on a cotton freaking preacher's choker. And we're not going to forget what we saw and we heard, batch. And we're not going to forget how it affected us. See, Maya Angelou said that it doesn't matter really. You may not remember what a person said, okay? And you may not even remember what they did, but you will remember how they made you feel, bitch. And we know how we felt when we saw you, in our opinion, okay? In our opinion, the abuse that you had towards Katina, we're not going to forget that. And so while you may want to walk around in a preacher's robe, and you may want to shout from the mountaintops that you've changed, Olajuwon, we don't believe it. And we don't give a damn about what Katina says, because she's been with the okie dokie bull from the beginning. Now, remember when we first met Katina, Katina had already indicated that her previous relationship was abusive. And so in our opinion, or at least in my opinion, she's familiar with this kind of behavior. And sometimes, you find yourself going back to the same type of men over and over and over until you break that cycle, or you learn from your past mistakes. And in my opinion, I believe that Katina is a person who is comfortable, okay, comfortable in this type of relationship. And so when she says that you change and all of that kind of stuff, it's like, what? And then the thing about it is that when she was asked during the reunion, how do you handle Olajuwon now? She said, oh, I just cuss him out. So we automatically know, boo boo, that there is still issues and problems and situations in that country freaking relationship. But anyway, he sits down with Jephty and he tells Jephty that he has an issue with his relationship. And Jephty is like, what is that issue? And he says that the issue is that him and Katina are spending too much time together. So Jephty was like, well, I mean, if that's an issue, that ain't really an issue. What he mean is that he is still controlling the amount of time that Katina can spend outside of the household with her friends, in my opinion. And the reason why I have come to that conclusion, or the reason why I have that opinion about the situation, is because Katina and Olajuwon later on had a conversation where he gave her permission. He gave her permission to hang with her friends now. He said, we've already, become a couple who are, knitted together, if you will. We've already established our relationship with one another. And so as a result of that, you can now be with your friends. But when you feel like you're on shaky ground, Katina, look at the ring. What ring? Now you can look at the ring. So, this ring that he has given her has all kinds of strings attached to it, in my opinion. This ring is supposed to be the ring that is meant to apologize, if you will, for all the times that he embarrassed her on television. Now the ring is something for her to look at and say, my relationship with Olajuwon is solidified, and I should feel comfortable because I have this ring on my finger. What other multi-purpose does this ring have to serve? The ring got a whole bunch of strings attached to it. And it serves as a multi-purpose ring. It's almost like a bottle of Lysol for multi-purpose surfaces. Like what? Does the ring just mean that we together? Does it just mean that we're married for life and for death, goodness, and all of that old kind of bull crap? I couldn't even get it out of my mouth. But how many purposes is the ring supposed to serve? How many reminders is this ring supposed to give me? Boy, get out of here. So anyway, they're sitting there and they're talking to Michael, about Jasmina. And Mike says that he believed that Jasmina came with an agenda. Of course she did. Because she doesn't want to look like she's like Alyssa, but she's just like Alyssa. She really is just like Alyssa, in my opinion, in every way. And by every definition. She is Alyssa, and Alyssa is her. She stayed on here for the games, the thrills, the apartment, the money, in my opinion. She did not want to become a failure. Neither did Mike. And so the two of them colluded with each other, okay, in my opinion, to stay on this show, to stay in the apartment. And we even know in the beginning of this cotton freaking show that she made a decision to even leave, using the dog as an excuse. And then they probably talked to her and said, bitch, if you don't get back up in that apartment, you're going up out of here like Alyssa and Chris did. And so she came back in. By their own admission at the tell-all, the two of them said that they could not stand each other for 30 days and 30 nights, bitch. The experiment ain't but 2 months, 8 weeks. So for 4 weeks, you all haven't even talked to one another. But y'all going on all the field trips. Y'all making it do what it do. Y'all doing all of that kind of stuff. And then on decision day, the two of you all have the audacity to say yes. And to think that we, the fans of Married at First Sight, believed it. We didn't for one, not even for one, not 1 second did we believe this. We didn't believe this bullshit. But y'all wanted to put this in our faces and want us to swallow it and believe it. And so now Mike is sitting there saying, I haven't talked to Jasmina since the reunion. Well, bitch, ain't nobody surprised. And they tell him, try one more time. Now, this is just to give Mike an excuse to go to the house. Now, you see why I have said multiple times that Married at First Sight is playing in our faces? Now, this is a rant, but I'm calm. Oh, I'm calm doing this rant because I am absolutely convinced that I know what I know, that I know what I know what I know, when I know what I know, and how I know what I know, bitch. They have played in our faces this whole entire season. And now here we got him going to the house, and now he's going to confront Jasmina. For the fuck what? Jasmina has already got her story together. She's rehearsed it. She said, I must have rehearsed my lines 1,000 times until I had them memorized. She know exactly what she's going to say when you confront her. Because Jasmina has already said, I haven't talked to Mike and I don't know why. What do you mean you don't know why? You all broke up over a laptop. There was nothing there from the beginning. So why would you think that Mike would continue to go through that emotional abuse, in my opinion? So they decided they're going to go in the house and they're going to, have this little weekend. Now we got Chris. He's back on the scene. Chris is on the scene because he is dating Olivia from New Orleans. And we know that her relationship with the guy, I think his name was Brett, was disastrous. She was uptight. She didn't want this man to touch her. She didn't want this man to do anything with her. And he got tired and moved out and took everything, including the salt and pepper. And now here it is. She has hooked up with Chris. They hit each other up in the DMs. And now he's inviting her to come in from New Orleans to be with him and have dinner. Coincidentally, on the same weekend that they're going to be meeting with all the other couples at the shack. And you all are wondering why I said that, in my opinion, this is heavily produced. What? What? So now he's called himself talking to her. Yes, Randy, staged. How Vibe said production. Yolanda said storyline. These people at this point have become actors. Yes, Elaine, insulting AF. Because you playing in our faces like we don't know what's going on. And so he brings her in because this is the new woman that he's been talking to. Didn't she get enough from her season? They got it now. You got people hopping from season to season. So she's outside in a bubble with him having dinner, and they're talking about hooking up with each other. And he's saying, well, we're going to be going into a house, and I would like for you to go into the house with the other cast members, knowing that I had a hard time with Alyssa. And in my opinion, Chris and Alyssa wanted to one-up each other on whether or not I can have somebody, because Alyssa, who we know is obsessed with being with a cowboy, picks Ryan, bitch. Ryan, the mofo that never consummated his marriage, that never cared anything about the woman that he was with, she invites him. Of all mother, the pick from all seasons, you're going to pick him. She would have did better if she had picked Chris. That was with Paige. She'd have got more action and more traction to that action. But she picks Ryan. Of all this month, didn't have any feelings, emotions, nothing. He had nothing. He could offer her nothing. And this is the mofo that she picks to join her because he wears cowboy boots and lives in Texas. Bitch, you can't make this up. Y'all think I'm lying? I wouldn't even lie to you about this. Alyssa picked Ryan from last season to come and be with her. When him and the girl that hit this mo is on Tinder, swiping left and swiping right, and gets busted by the damn girl Brat, gets busted by her friends. Even though she was cheating, she wants him in cowboy boots and tells him we had so much in common. He said, well, wow, what do we have in common? She said, when I saw you riding horse and I saw you doing this and I saw you doing that, I was like, I want to do that. See, the thing about it is she's looking at all of the superficial stuff. She's looking at the stuff on the outside, but she's not looking at the stuff that happened with this mofo. Didn't you see? Did you think she was that unattractive and that's why he wasn't interested in touching her the whole season while he was staying at his apartment? No. So she brings him in to bowl with her and for a day, because she said that they had been talking in the DMs. She's bragging to all the girls, oh God, I'm dating Brad. I'm like Ryan. Yeah, I really like him. They're like, girl, invite him to the thing. Production had already contacted him. And so he comes in and she's like, have you thought about, what about your love life? Where are you at now? Have you thought about dating anybody? He said, well, I wasn't until about 3 weeks ago when you slid up into my damn DM. She's sitting up there batting her little ugly eyes, and they're going to invite him to come and stay in the house. He says, well, I got to look at my flights and everything, but I'm going to stay at the house. She said, yeah, because I need somebody to be there for me. Because I found out that Chris bringing somebody too. So because production, here's what Auntie thinks. Because production did not feel like they got their money worth out of this particular couple during the season, they want to give them some shine and make some money off of them off season. That's just my opinion about it. And I'm entitled to that. They think that we like them. And that we had a need to see a closure in their stories. No, the fuck we didn't. Because he sat out there and advertised his company. And she had made a sweatshirt that says, I'm a good person. So the two of them played right up in our faces. And they advertised their stuff. And they put their little subliminal messages out there. But of all the people that they can pick, they pick Ryan. So Ryan brings his ass out there and plays the game. And then we see Alyssa meet with Ryan at a restaurant after she was cuckoo and goo-goo-eyed with them. And she finds out from the dudes that Ryan is fucking with Lindsey in the DMs. You can't make this up. Ryan is messing with her in the DMs. She finds out that he's close with Lindsey, her enemy. The chick who been giving her the blues the whole time, Ryan fucking with her. He was trying to backpedal. Oh, he was trying to backpedal. She doesn't know I'm going with you. She doesn't know this. I talked to her in the DMs. It's nothing big. She said, but you lied to me. He didn't lie to you because you would have had to ask the question. Now, did he lie by omission? Hell yeah, but you needed your karma right on television. You needed that karma, honey. You think I wasn't delighted and kikiing and clapping like a seal up in this? I was. Because I was glad that the good person finally found a bad person that was worse than her. Ryan did not tell her that he was talking to Lindsey, and they would have got up in the house and been kicking a bobo. And she realized, honey, had she not known about it, she'd have been up in the house looking like a fool, bringing the two of them together. Okay? But that's the karma that she needed. And she didn't want to want to hear anything that Ryan was saying. He was trying to, yes, Ryan from last season, Batty. She was sitting up there trying, he was sitting up there trying to tell her what had happened. Okay? And she was like, no, I have all the information. You don't have the information till you get the information from Ryan. Thank you so much, Yolanda Gibson, for the $4.99 super chat. Rant on, auntie, rant on. Okay? And I'm calm ranting too. I love seeing her get her karma. I like seeing her feel the same way someone else feel, that he was dishonest to her. And he was by omission. But the next time you need to ask him, is he talking to your enemy? Has he talked to anybody else from the show instead of being attracted to him because he got cowboy boots on, bitch? You so stupid and superficial. Because if you had done your homework, you would have found out that he was talking to Lindsey's ass. But that's what you get. Because you wanted to one-up Chris. And it backfired like a mother. I was quite happy and quite entertained. Alyssa, don't nobody want you, in my opinion. Don't nobody care nothing about you. And you're not a good person. You are not a good person. And honey, let me tell you something. Karma may not show up when you want her, but she be right on time. And she was right on time because you know what you did? You went right on out there to that house, bitch, by yourself. And Chris was sitting out there with Olivia. And Olivia said, bitch, we're going to do separate rooms because I don't want no issues up in this mother. Do I think that there's something going on between Christopher and Olivia? Absolutely not. I think she had some time off and she wanted to travel to Boston. And they paid for it. And Ryan messed his up because Ryan said, I'm not getting in the drama between her and Lindsey. But I'm going to tell you one thing, honey. The way Ryan had his head stuff flipped up like that, Ryan fine as hell. He downplayed the I don't know what out of himself when he was married. But I'm going to tell you right now, that was fine. Okay, the auntie too old for him. But I'm going to tell you, that's one good looking man because the way his hair was cut, his outfit, his body, like everything, like he was extremely attractive. And he did not one day, except for I think at the reunion, bring it like that. He brought it. He brought it. And I almost felt like it was good to see her smiling, but I just was like, she don't deserve it, in my opinion. And I mean, and I'm not the one who determines who deserves what, but I'm telling you, in my little mind, I felt like she does not deserve happiness right now. I think that she has a debt to society. Just to pay her debt to us. for treating Chris the way that she did. But they all went to the house. They got to the house and everything. Mike and Jasmina attempted to have a conversation. That conversation was some bull crap. She stayed on to what she believed, okay, in the story that she came up with. And he he wasn't strong enough to go to war with her. He has not been able to tolerate her. When she goes on this rant and starts talking about she has these receipts and all this kind of stuff, the receipts are her strategic way of trying to create receipts. You know how somebody starts something, they get something popped off because they need receipts? She's that type of person. And so it didn't make a difference what he said to her. She was going to be right. So why the guys even gave him that advice, I don't know. But it was worthless. Olajuwon and Katina are still together. They're happily married. Steve and Noi are happily married. Lindsey came into the house and changed the whole environment. Nobody really wanted to bunk with Lindsey but the guys. And Lindsey apologized to Steve and to Noi for the confusion and the conflict, the reading and all of that kind of stuff that she had been doing. Who else? What else happened on the show? Alyssa apologized to Chris, but it was too late. A day late and a dollar short. This season of Married at First Sight, in my opinion, was a never-ending story. I am hoping that with this, where are they now, that we don't ever have to see these, because again, in my opinion, it was one of the worst, if not the worst, seasons of Married at First Sight. And I believe in a week, we have another season of Married at First Sight Los Angeles. And I am hoping that it is not heavily produced, that we get an opportunity to see real couples and real drama, not drama that is initiated by production. Yeah, I noticed the Trini girl. I'm just hoping that it's better than what it was. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about it. And if you even watched it. I got a feeling that the ratings are really going down because I think that we are really tired of people playing in our faces. Also, don't forget that they are going to be having two new experts, fake experts, Devon Franklin and Pia Hollick, I believe it is. They're going to be replacing Dr. Viviana for the next season. Anyway, I just wanted to come to you all and rant a little bit, have a discussion about the Foo La La. I love you all to pieces. You all have a great night. Thank you so much, Yolanda Gibson, for the super chat. And I love you all. Bye, y'all.